Once again, we have the pleasure of talking with Rabbi Leib Tropper. And Rabbi Leib and I are dedicating this particular shir to the memory of Nishmas of Sarah Belka Bas Ruvain, the mother of a beloved Talmud of Rabbi Leib, Rabbi Yaakov Searle. His mother was Niftaris this morning, and Leib Nishmas, we're dedicating this shir to this great woman. Today's topic, the first step in a harmonic home, giving. What does that mean exactly, Rabbi Leib?
There are two parts to that question. What does it mean that that's the first step, and what does it mean to be giving? Somebody who wants to accelerate or hold on to their love of a loved one, Rav Dessler has wrote a particular essay called Kuntras HaChesed, the essay regarding kindness. Rav Dessler seems convinced through what the Torah says and through what his experience is as a mashgiach and somebody who people come and consult with, that giving, the chesed of giving, brings to Ahava. Ahava, a special love, which is cultivated by sharing something one has with someone else. Lahavdil elef alfi havdolis. There is an author who I mentioned a few times before, who wrote a book, The Art of Loving. His name is Eric Fromm. And like I said, Lahavdil elef alfi havdolis. And he actually makes this claim independent of anything that he saw within Torah. But it's interesting, he says that the word rechem, womb, which carries a baby for 9 months, comes from the word rachem, mercy and compassion. Compassion is developed by carrying something for 9 months. There's a bond that's created because the baby is being carried by the mother. It's like one who builds a new house. Rav Dessler says, a new house, he puts time and he buys wood, then he bangs the wood and he fixes the wood and he cuts the wood and he's busy fixing this house, making a brand new house. The more he invests in it, somehow he feels closer to that house. This is what I built. This is the things that I created, I'm proud of. So Rav Dessler is convinced that the way to get to Ahava is not like the Western culture tells us. When you love, you give, but when you give, is when you start loving. And the more you give, the more you love. He adds on to that, something which I mentioned before, that marriage is not a give and take relationship. That is a notion that has to be somehow eliminated from the Jewish lexicon completely. There's no give and take relationship. It's both sides giving all the time. Mm-hmm. The moment we start with a give and take relationship, we have problems when the giving becomes taking and when the taking becomes giving, and we're lost. So we have to be giving the whole time. Sometimes the giving means taking. Sometimes the taking means giving. So we need to really focus on that concept. How do I, each one of us, it's kind of a gender. It's not, there's not nesina, meaning the man should be giving his wife, but the wife doesn't have to give to the man. They both have to be constantly giving. Ram Shimshul Ferl Hirsch is brought down, I think it's in the Sefer Magolei Hashanah. There's a Sefer not well known, it's 4 volumes. It's a book about the seasons of the year. I'm not sure if it's collected writings or just writings of a person he wrote. It's a 4-volume book. It's fascinating Sefer. Not a book, it's a Sefer actually. And Rav Hirsch Zatzal says that the essence of the world, the quintessence of the world, of the Bria, was made to be given, to be giving. It's just that man has the choice. And the natural just the natural process of universe giving the whole time stops by man, and that doesn't become a process, it becomes a choice. For example, he says, the sun. Well, first he says the rain. The rain comes down, right? And all of a sudden the seeds in the ground, they don't say no, they just start spurting and growing and become trees. Then the rain comes down and then the sun comes out and everything becomes beautiful. It's like really healthy. It's a healthy growth. The sun doesn't say, I'm not coming out today. I'm not. The sun comes out. And then the orange becomes ripe and beautiful and gorgeous. And the orange doesn't say, listen, I'm not going to fall down. I'm staying here. I don't want to be part of man's life. I'm staying here. The orange, Hashem made it the orange to be giving, and he falls down. Man takes it. Man has a choice to be a giver or a taker. Can I share this with someone who needs it, or will I take it all for myself? So Hirsch says it. I think he may make this stream of giving even longer than I just said it. But it's a fascinating idea that the world is made to give, nesina, to give. The Messias of the natural, and us are just another link in that part of giving. Man and woman, both of them are part of this chain of giving. I'm not an apologist, and therefore hence I don't want to say, the woman's role in giving or the man's role in giving is better than the woman's role or vice versa. I'm not an apologist. I'm not here to apologize for what women think was their being indentured by men for who many years, whatever it was. This is for both of them. The Torah is given, this part of the Torah is given for both of them. There are mitzvahs that are for men, mitzvahs are for women, a little less for women, a little more for men. Does not mean that the man gets more olam haba than the woman does. It just means that her job is not the man's job, and the man's job is not the woman's job. But in terms of olam haba, nobody ever said that the woman is deprived of the same olam haba as a man. And this constant yetzer hara for protesting on about, not for oneness in a marriage. If the protest for oneness in a marriage, there would be more harmony in the world. The protest is for sameness. And sameness can't work. You cannot have two people sitting at the steering wheel. Imagine that, sitting at the steering wheel, and both driving the steering wheel. Does that mean that the one sitting next to the steering wheel is less important than the one actually holding the steering wheel? It's foolish to consider that at all. So, b'chai gavna, in the same exact manner, we have the man and the woman both do different roles, whether it's more or less, but the Eibusha does not deprive one of their schar because they don't do the exact same thing that the other one does. Sameness is not oneness. Oneness actually requires difference, because the completion of a oneness is this a half and another half, and they complete and they become one. If they're same, they can't become one. They're just the same repeat of the same thing. So, in terms of giving, in the role of giving, it's not like the woman's supposed to receive and the man's supposed to give, and the woman's supposed to not give, and he's not supposed to receive. That's not the way it works. I'll share with you an incident that talks about giving in a very practical manner. If I mentioned it before, please tell me, parents. A man comes home to give his wife a birthday present. And it's a beautiful sweater. Beautiful sweater. And the woman opens the box, unwraps the box, opens the box with anticipation of something great. She sees the sweater, she says, I have 3 sweaters. You really thought you had to buy me a sweater? Right? So the opportunity for giving, she turned away from. She would give the husband so much pleasure if she would say, oh, I can't believe it. It's so nice. It's so beautiful. Her receiving this, her taking is really giving the husband bahi hano, that he takes it. The Mekadosh, like the Gemara says, it's worth shaveh kesef. And the way you give me this shaveh kesef is when you take it. I have such hano that you took it. Wow, what that does to me. So the taking Isn't that an essential part of kindness and, I would say, giving? And vice versa. The one who takes does take. So the one who gives. The Gemara says, Chamisha Dvarim Tziva Canaan Lebonov. And amongst the 5 things that Canaan commanded his children was Ehevu Es HaGezel, steal from each other, but Ehevu Zezel, love each other. How do you steal from each other and love each other at the same time? So Morana Rav Dessa Zatzal explains profoundly. I give you something, but my mind has an agenda. I'm giving you. Hopefully, you'll give me something later on when you have a job, and you'll have an available job in your office, and you're doing this, and you're making millions of dollars. You'll give me a job. If you don't, you're gonna be a bad guy because you're not giving me what I just gave you. And this whole thing becomes a sequence of giving. Of taking. It's all about taking. He wants to take, so he gives, but it really isn't giving because he's an accountant. He's taking stock of what he's giving to make sure that he gets back from the other person what the other person deserves to give him back. So that giving is really taking, because he's thinking about himself. And it happens often in business. I give a present to the banker. I give a present to this. I want to make sure he does me favors. So I really care about him. I don't care about him at all. I just care about taking. So I sometimes have to give to take, but I want to take. That kind of taking is not the one that's virtuous in any way. It's just this world's upside down concept of lack of goodness and kindness and honesty and integrity. Of course, it looks like it's giving, it smells like it's giving, but it's taking. That's a requisite. Before you start off, you have to make that a chasam before he starts off his life with his wife. Has to know that giving both ways all the time. The husband to the wife to the husband. They have to make up between themselves that that's their life. They love each other to the max, to the point that they're going to be giving each other. And sometimes even the concept of saying, nothing I can give you could be enough. Each one says that to the other. Nothing that I can give you could be enough. My appreciation of having you as my husband or my wife. That is what giving is. I cannot give you enough. I want to give you more.
And not reflecting on, look at all that I've done for you. In other words, the giving without.
How could you reflect on someone you gave if you're still busy giving? Right? If you're still in the midst of giving, you can't reflect on talking about look what I did for you in the past. And b'chlal, that whole concept. And I had those experiences, and I must tell you, it could be distressing to someone who's sensitive in midas and character. When one spouse brings up the concept of becoming an accountant on all the things that they've done, not understanding that marriage is supposed to be based on love. The component of that is to love to the person, wanting to give. Some say the word hava has the word have in it, which means to give, take, all the time. Ishto kegufo means that they both have to share everything in terms of the giving. I know this is not, it's an important topic. I think this is just a little just a hint, perhaps a suggestion of a small suggestion, but it's maximum importance. That notion to understand that marriage is the nesina, the giving a person emotional pleasure, a person giving with your spouse all kinds of pleasure that the Torah allows and we're encouraged to give. That is giving if you receive it from them or if you give it to them. And if you receive it to them and that causes them, my husband loved, my husband. There's nothing more than the Chazanish writes in his letter that Teva Isha, the nature of a woman is to find chen in the eyes of her husband, to want to find favor in the eyes of her husband. So how much does it mean to us? So much. It means if the husband says, I love the sweater you gave me. Not worrying about the 3 sweaters that he has in his drawer. But I love it. It's so nice of you to go out and get it. I mean, it probably took you time to go out in the store and maybe they didn't have it and you had to go back a second time. I don't even know what was involved in it. And I thank you so much for going out and getting it. what didn't he get? A sweater? He didn't get a sweater, but he gave so much. He gave so much. So that's. I just want to share that. It's a short little note today, but I want to share that and hope that Mr. Shem, all of us, including myself, amachazik ourselves, strengthen ourselves in this inyan of Nesina. And perhaps what is it? Going back to Hirsch, it's the me'ain of the Bria. It's mamish daimet to be tel malikim. Hashem put in the world. Hashem plants a seed. Hashem himself plants a seed in the ground. The water grows, takes the seed, opens it up, starts growing. The sun comes and makes it healthier. The tree puts out an orange, beautiful orange. And the orange doesn't, quarrel and say, I don't want to go, I want to be here. And he just gives man the orange, and man has this choice, and he enjoys this delicious, pleasureful orange, and then he has a choice to be a giver as well, like everything else before him. Sometimes the giving stops by the orange when it falls off the tree. And man just says, orange, pocket, forget, I don't know anybody else, it's not important to me. It's me and that's all. I hope, as Hashem, that we could be misdamet to the midah of the Eibishter and do what the Eibishter wants from us. And we will be mamish, a real tzal malikim, if we could elevate this concept of nesina, of giving. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Leib, for giving that over to us.
My pleasure.